A new mayor in Florida who literally tried to shut down a movie theater because they showed a documentary that really hurt his feelings. Recently, he posted about how his city doesn't discriminate against anyone. A woman who lived there for 20 years and voted for him had some notes, so she left a Facebook comment. The kind of comment that millions of people post every day without thinking twice. 2 police officers then showed up at her door.
Says she is outraged after police showed up at her door. They had questions for former political candidate Raquel Pacheco. They were asking about a Facebook post that she made criticizing Miami Beach's mayor. CBS News Miami's Abby Dodge is your reporter in Miami Beach tonight. Abby, what was in this post that prompted officers to show up and knock on her door like that?
Well, Raquel Pacheco wrote a critical comment about the mayor after he posted a photo saying that the city was welcoming to everyone. She didn't expect then that her comment would lead to a police investigation.
And look, for some people, that's a little bit of an inconvenience. For Black and brown folks or women like Breonna Taylor, the cops at your door is a death sentence. So when a mayor decides that Facebook comments warrant police visits, we need to talk about who that power gets used against and what happens when it does. And I'm going to show you what she wrote, and you're going to lose your mind at what qualifies as threatening behavior now. This is what we get when 3 clown emojis get you a knock at your door from the cops. And real quick, I'm Lauren Pretra. Please take a moment to make sure you're subscribed. If you are, turn those notifications on. Make sure you hype this video. If you're on mobile, you can only do it on mobile because we really need to maintain our lead on Katie Miller, wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, white nationalist from Santa Monica, behind all of this terror. She's well-funded. I bootstrap this thing, and subbing is free, so it takes all of us to fight fascism. So Pacheco lives in Miami Beach, and she has since 2004. She's run for local office 3 times as a Democrat. She's voted for Stephen Minor when he ran for mayor in 2023. And on Monday, she opened up her front door to find 2 police officers standing there with questions about a Facebook comment she'd written.
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that question either
well,
way.
Like I said, you're not going to
This is freedom of speech. This is America, right?
And
veteran.
Correct. And I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
We're just trying to see if it's you, because if we're not talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person is.
Okay, how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Even leaves the room when they vote and on related matters. Wants you to know that you're all welcome. Clown face, clown face, clown face. 3 days ago.
You don't know if it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me or not.
Okay.
The concerning part, and not concerning for the person who's posting it, what we're just trying to prevent is somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, that can probably incite somebody to do something radical. That's all we're here to talk about. And we wanted to get your side. If it was you that posted that, I would think to refrain from posting things like that, because that could get something incited.
I appreciate your concern. I appreciate you coming out here.
Okay?
That's it?
That is it.
Okay.
I'm going to maintain my amendment rights to not answer the question about whether or not that's
okay.
I hope
Thank
that's
you for your time.
understandable.
We appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah,
as
have a good
well.
day, okay?
You as well. Thank you. Take care.
They showed her a screenshot on their phone. Her comment about the mayor, and she immediately started recording. Always record the police. And here's what led to this moment. January 6th, not that January 6th, this year's January 6th, Minor posted on his official Facebook page about how Miami Beach is a safe haven for everyone and how the city will always stand firm against any discrimination. He contrasted this with places like New York City, where he claimed officials discriminated against Jews. Pacheco had some thoughts about that. She replied to his post, and then the next day, when somebody shared the mayor's post to a community Facebook page, she commented again. And it was this second comment that brought police to her door.
Am I being charged with the crime? Okay, so you're here to investigate a statement that I allegedly made on Facebook.
Raquel Pacheco, a former candidate for Miami Beach City Commission and Florida Senate, started recording when officers showed up at her door Monday. She says she's still emotionally distraught about what happened next.
My overwhelming feeling was that freedom of speech as I know it died at my front step yesterday. And that was just such an incredibly sad. It still makes me sad. It's an incredibly, incredibly sad thing.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present.
Officers then read Pacheco's Facebook comment. She says, in part, the guy who consistently calls for the death of Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Officers then explained why they came to her door.
We're just trying to prevent somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Anyone who reads that statement, I don't know how you can take that as an incitement to violence of any type.
I called the mayor's communications staff multiple times and stopped by City Hall. The mayor's office did not provide anyone to speak with me and said the mayor was not in the building. Pacheco has hired a lawyer and together they made public information requests. She says she wants to know what led up to the officers at her door.
We're traveling down a very, very slippery road here. And my goal here is not just to make it stop for me, obviously, but it's for everyone. Because think about this. I'm a vocal person. I'm a loud person. I'm a well-known person in this town. If they can do that to me, and I'm a veteran, if they can do that to me, imagine what they can do to people that don't have a voice and don't have a presence and visibility.
In just minutes before our newscast, we did end up hearing from the mayor's office through a statement. They called this interaction a police matter. We also recently heard back from the Miami Beach Police Department about the investigative unit officers who did show up to Pacheco's house. They said in a statement, and I'm going to read it for you now, that the Miami Beach Police Department was made aware of a social post containing potentially inflammatory commentary referencing a Miami Beach elected official. In light of recent national concerns regarding anti-Semitism and out of an abundance of caution, the department assessed the post for any potential safety implications. They did say that detectives found no immediate threat.
Is this your account? That's what one of the officers said to her. Pacheco, who served in Connecticut's Army National Guard from 1993 to 1999, told them this was freedom of speech. This is America. I am a veteran. And the officer said, yeah, I agree with you 100%. We're just here trying to see if it's you, because if we're not talking to the right person, we want to go see who the right person is, which is wild. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but we also need to confirm you're the right person who exercised it so we know who to be watching and whose door we need to knock on. The officers told her she wasn't going to jail. They were just there to have a conversation. Then one of them said, I would think to refrain from posting things like that because that could get something incited. Pacheco refused to answer questions without an attorney. My girl. The officers left within minutes. Heart racing, she shut the door and texted the video to 3 friends who practice law. Again, always film the police. So what exactly did she write that was so inflammatory that the police needed to get involved immediately and show up at her home? Let's talk about the mayor first. Minor was elected a month after October 7th, 2023. Since then, Miami Beach has experienced what the Washington Post calls a deepening rift amongst residents. In March 2025, Minor tried to terminate O Cinema's lease after they screened No Other Land, an Oscar-winning documentary made by Palestinian and Israeli filmmakers showing Israelis bulldozing a town in the West Bank. The showings were sold out. Minor called the film a false, one-sided propaganda attack on the Jewish people that is not consistent with the values of our city and residents. He moved on to kick out O Cinema from their space in a city-owned building and cut roughly $40,000 in grants to the nonprofit Art House. A mayor trying to evict a movie theater and pull their funding for showing an Academy Award-winning documentary he disagreed with. And then there was a 9-hour city commission meeting about it. O Cinema got legal help from the ACLU, and Minor eventually backed the fuck off. Pacheco referenced this in her comment, the one that got her a police visit. She told the Post that she voted for Minor in 2023, but started speaking out when he began addressing issues like crime and homelessness using what she called the Trump playbook, measures she saw as objectively cruel. So here's what she wrote. The guy who consistently calls for death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for queer community in any way, even leaves the room when they vote on related matters, wants you to know that you're all welcome here. Then she added 3 clown emojis. That's the comment. Miami Beach police said that they conducted a brief consensual encounter to make sure that there was no safety threat to the mayor or the community. They were being cautious, they said, because of recent national concerns regarding anti-Semitism, which is interesting framing. Calling your mayor out for trying to censor a movie theater now is an anti-Semitic concern that requires police intervention at your home immediately. Minor said it was a police matter and made sure everyone knew he's a strong supporter of the state of Israel. He said Pacheco's inflammatory language that is false and without any factual basis justified sending the cops to check to see if she was a threat. The inflammatory language being pointing out that he actually did things that were inflammatory and adding a few clown emojis. Now she has an attorney. She's filed public records requests, and she's prepared to sue if this escalates. And she's clear about what she'll do the next time she sees a social media post from her mayor. She will open the comments section and type her thoughts and hit send. Here's the thing about sending cops to somebody's house over a Facebook comment. It only works if people get scared enough to stop commenting. Pacheco is a veteran who voted for this guy and ran for office for herself 3 times. Even she said having the police at her door felt like such a foreign, alien feeling. And if somebody that embedded in civic life feels unsafe criticizing the mayor, what happens to everyone else? People who don't have 3 lawyer friends to text, people who aren't white or white passing, who aren't citizens. Because cops showing up at your door isn't the same risk for everyone. For Breonna Taylor, it was a death sentence. For Black and brown folks, it can mean violence, detention, deportation. When a mayor sends police over a Facebook comment that he didn't like, everyone else is watching. Right now in Miami Beach, someone typed out a criticism of Minor, remembered Pacheco, and then deleted it. Someone else skipped the city commission meeting. One deleted comment at a time until the only people willing to speak are those who are able to afford the risk. Everyone undocumented, everyone who knows police encounters can turn deadly on them, everyone who actually needs their government to work for them, they go quiet first. And that's when the government stops needing oversight. When people are too afraid to call out their corruption or abuse, those in power act without consequence. There's no accountability and no pushback. Every major social advance, civil rights, labor protections, environmental laws came from people speaking up despite retaliation. When fear becomes their default, injustice becomes just the way things are. Systematic change becomes impossible. Pacheco got an attorney. She filed public records requests and she called the Washington Post. She's going to keep commenting. Only reason you can criticize your mayor is that people keep doing it when it's dangerous. Minor tried to censor a movie theater. And if everyone's too afraid to call that out, then what comes next? I'm Lauren Paritra, and please make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have your notifications on. Hype this video if you're on mobile. Leave us a comment with like at least 7 words. You guys taught me that one. And we gotta, Willa and I and you all, we gotta maintain our lead on Katie Miller, wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, 4-ton white nationalist from Santa Monica behind all of this ICE terror. Subbing is free and it takes all of us to fight fascism. And let us know what you want to talk about more next.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.